Social media became a trend in the United States around 2010 when Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and many other apps began popping up on smartphone application stores. These apps have been used for posting, sharing, updating, and so much more. As Facebook has become less popular than the other platforms, Instagram and Snapchat are becoming more and more popular. Teenagers and young adults are able to hide behind the facade of social media, but when faced with the real world, they find it difficult to face reality. They have become accustomed to comparing themselves to the photoshopped, the fake, and the celebrities. Now add that to the pressures of everyday life, including school, work, family, and friends. Evidence shows that the suicide rate has increased since the outburst of social media, but others hold the belief that social media has helped raise awareness to the issue of suicide. Some proposed solutions for change and raising awareness include setting up age restrictions on social media, holding suicide prevention days in public schools, and providing opportunities for schools to have the funding and resources needed for suicide prevention programs. Suicide rates have been steadily rising since the introduction of social media. According to the New York Post, suicide rates for teens rose between 2010 and 2015 after they had declined for nearly 2 decades. The effect of social media on teenagers is so outstanding that it took only 5 years for the rate of suicide to increase after a 20-year decline. Social media can lower a teenager's self-esteem due to the feeling of being left out when things are happening around them. In today's society, teens need more support and love than ever before. They are constantly being bombarded by all of the noise from social media, and when this happens, they begin to lash out and, in worst-case scenarios, decide to take their lives. There are multiple reports and sources that explain in depth the effects of social media has on troubled kids. In schools, it is required by the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention to hold a suicide prevention meeting every year. These presentations put on by the schools are often seen as boring, ineffective, and pointless by the students. We recently asked some peers, using the polling method on Instagram, 2 questions and recorded their responses. The first question was, did you enjoy going to the suicide prevention meeting held at your school? The second question, do you believe that suicide prevention meetings were helpful? For both questions, about 70% of the students gave a negative response. From this data, we can conclude that the majority of teens we polled did not like the presentation and did not see a need or importance for it. It is also important for schools that they are able to afford and put to use the funds needed for suicide prevention programs. For example, there is an organization called Sources of Strength. It is used in some public high schools and it focuses on an idea called the Wheel. This wheel focuses on mental health, family support, positive friends, mentors, healthy activities, generosity, spirituality, and medical access. More and more teens and young adults are using social media every day, and this is starting to have an impact on the way they think and act. Studies done at Social Media HQ have proven that there is a direct link between expanded social media usage and teen depression. Appropriate steps need to be taken in order to lower depression and suicide rates. To bring change and raise awareness for this problem, some proposed solutions would be to set up age restrictions on social media, hold suicide prevention days in public schools, and provide opportunities for schools to have the funding and resources needed for suicide prevention programs. A call to action to children and teens with depression and suicidal thoughts would be to encourage them to take a break from social media. Something as simple as leaving your phones at home and going for a walk or a bike ride can help clear the mind. They will feel better about themselves and the world around them. During this break, don't forget to check in with friends and family and see how they are doing, because you never know if you don't ask. If we as a society stop caring and stop asking, these teens and children will continue to struggle right under our noses, and we won't have any clue.